What's up guys, my name is Saib and welcome to episode 12. In this episode we're going to talk about images and how we can draw them in our canvas. And this is done very simply. It just involves two steps. The first one is to let the canvas know what the image source is, and then we can use the draw image method in order to draw our image in our canvas area that way. So let's start by creating an image object using the new keyword in JavaScript. So simply I can just say var, and I can say my image, and I'm going to use new and image to create a new image object. And then we're going to have to specify the source of the image simply by going to the object dot and specify the source that way. And then we have to specify the source of the image. So I have the image in my assets here, assets folder that way. It's called spaceship. So I can just call assets, that's right, that way. Make sure that you write the correct path or correct source for the image, / and I can say spaceship.png. Now you can use all of the images formats that your browser supports. We can use PNG, JPEG as well. We can use the GIFs, and yeah. Now that we specified the source of our image, we have to add something that's called an event handler, or simply an event listener that listens to an event and just performs an action when this event actually happened. So if I added an event listener, for instance, I can just say my image. I want to add an event listener to ensure that the image got loaded. So the event is load, simply that way. There's another events that we can replace that one, such as click and other events. I'm going to leave a link in the description for different events that you can use. Okay, so we want to use an event we're going to use the load event in order to actually make sure that the image got loaded. So let's say that this load image action, the image got loaded. We're going to we're going to call a certain function that's called draw image, for instance, that way. Okay, so now let's actually try to come up with a definition for this draw image, simply that way. Okay, now since we specified the path, now all we need to do is use the draw image method in the 2D context, the Canvas API. So simply I can call the context and I can just say draw image. Now this draw image takes 3 arguments. This is in its simplest form. It can have more than 3 arguments, specify the width and the height and the slicing. I'm going to talk about this after we actually draw an image. So simply I can specify the image object that way, and then I'm going to specify the X and Y positions in order to actually specify the position of our image and where exactly it should be drawn. So let's say 200 and 200 for the X and Y. Now if the image got loaded, it's directly going to call the draw image function that way, and we're going to see that the image got drawn. This is the spaceship. Okay, so another thing that we can add in the draw image method. Now as I said, this image it's gonna be drawn exactly in the same dimensions that this file is, the physical file. We can specify the width and height by appending the width and height after the X and Y. See, that way now we can have the width and height. So let's say that I want to scale that one down, so I can just say 50 and 50. You're gonna see that this got smaller now. Let's scale that up, 150, 150, that way. You can see now that it gets all blurry because the same scaling logic applies to the canvas as well. It's not gonna smooth. It actually got smooth, but it's still blurry image. Sorry. So yeah. Another thing that we can actually specify is the slicing of an image. We can just draw a certain side of this image. So I can draw this the wings if I specify a slice that covers this side, but slicing is not something that I encourage you to do in Canvas, as it's not a complex thing, but you have to keep track of every if we added a new comma to actually see the arguments that are going to be added, we're going to have the X and Y from where is the top left of our image to specify the starting point of the slicing, and then we're going to have to specify the width and height to where we're actually gonna slice that image. So yeah, this is simply all you need in this series regarding images and how to draw them, just the width and height, and loading the image with an event handler or listener. So yeah, that's I think that's everything you need to know about images and how to draw them. It's an easy step. 2 steps, easy 2 steps. The first one is just to specify the source and then to actually draw it. Now you should know that Canvas draws not only the physical files or just a file formats that actually exists, a physical one, but it can draw a base64 encoded images. I'm gonna leave a reference in the description for those as well, so you can read more about them. And that's everything in this episode, and I'll see you in the next one where we'll go over animation and how to do animations in Canvas. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.